Welcome to the European Parliamentary Research Service podcast on tackling online terrorist propaganda.
The European Union is determined to clamp down on the dissemination of terrorist content online to prevent radicalisation and keep European citizens safe online as much as offline.
But this is a sensitive area, and with a thin line to tread, let's look into some of the finer details of the proposed measures. Stay with us.
The internet is a double-edged sword. It creates millions of new opportunities. Some are good, some not so much.
It is a powerful communication tool, an endless source of information, but is also widely used to spread hatred, violence, and terrorist propaganda.
Terrorist organisations use the internet to spread their ideas more effectively, recruit new terrorists, and even to train them online. According to the European Commission, between 200 and 400 online platforms are currently hosting content that could lead to terrorist radicalisation.
In this context, and seeing that voluntary measures have proved to be largely insufficient, the European Commission presented in 2018 a packet of new obligatory legal measures aimed at preventing the dissemination of terrorist content online.
Based on the principle that what is illegal offline is illegal online, the measures aimed at obliging hosting services to detect, identify and remove terrorist content within 1 hour of reporting or face fines of up to 4% of their global turnover. But what is terrorist content?
Illegal terrorist content is defined as information that is used to incite and glorify terrorist acts, encourage the contribution to and provide instructions for committing terrorist offences, or promote participation in terrorist groups.
The problem of such measures is that they are close to the limit when it comes to the respect of fundamental rights such as freedom of expression and information, and the right to data protection and respect for private life.
There are also technical issues and challenges related to compliance with other legislation and with the good functioning of the internal market. So what's the view of stakeholders and other EU institutions? Stay with us.
Hosting service providers, while acknowledging the negative impact of terrorist content on their services, criticise the extremely short deadline of 1 hour to remove terrorist content, coupled with what they consider to be onerous sanctions.
They fear the new obligations would entail over-removal of lawful content, which will negatively impact the freedom of expression and related fundamental rights of European users. Online businesses and representatives of digital platforms also called for a more flexible deadline for removing content.
Furthermore, the EU Fundamental Rights Agency considered the definition of terrorism content to be too wide and feared it would interfere with the freedom of expression and information, a view shared by independent experts at the United Nations Human Rights Council.
While welcoming the new measures, the European Economic and Social Committee also highlights the need to guarantee the right to information and freedom of expression on the internet in the EU, and asks that the possible impact the proposal could have on small and medium-sized companies is assessed.
European national parliaments have also shared similar concerns. But what about the European Parliament? Stay with us.
While the Council rapidly reached a position on the proposal in December 2018, the European Parliament only had its first vote in April 2019. So what did they change?
Well, in the Parliament's text, hosting service providers could still face sanctions of up to 4% of their global turnover if they systematically and persistently fail to abide by the legislation on terrorist content. However, the text includes no obligation to monitor or filter content, even though service providers would be obliged to withdraw illegal content within an hour. So what happens now?
Well, negotiations between Parliament, Commission and Council began in the autumn of 2019, so we'll just have to wait and see how long it takes them to find a compromise.
You're listening to the European Parliamentary Research Service podcasts.